Howdy everybody, I'm Kris Keefer. Welcome to RacerXOnline.com and welcome to the Church of 350. You guys know I'm a big fan of 350 cc's of life. This is the 2024 edition, KTM 350 SXF. No changes are made to the 2024 edition, exactly the same besides BNG, you know what that is, bold new graphics. But we're gonna do a little refresher course here today. We're gonna go out and ride, get some settings, maybe grab someone out of the pits, pluck them away from their 450 cc's of fury and get them on the church right here, the Church of 350. So stick around, we'll be right back to talk about it, maybe grab a guest test rider, and we'll see how this thing runs. We'll be right back. All right, just wrapping up here at Fox Raceway today. The Church of 350, we're out here at Fox on a Sunday, so perfect time to go to church. 2024 KTM 350 SXF. It is a fun bike to ride. I've said this a million times, but I've kind of haven't been completely honest with you guys behind the camera, watching this over on YouTube, is I always wanted to have one and ride one, but I ended up going to a 450. Well, I'm a little bit older now. This engine has evolved the last couple years. It's very fun to ride, lots of torque. So I kept one for me for this year. The guy behind the camera, Spencer, was like, hey, Keefer, we're gonna do about half the track, we're gonna do GoPro, and then we'll be done. Well, we did a whole track of video and GoPro because he wanted to do it, but I was actually having fun. So for me to say that about this bike says a lot. I enjoy riding a 450, but as I get older, it's a lot of work. And you guys might say, hey, well, now you're going down 100 cc's. Isn't it more work? Yes and no. So yes in the fact that you don't have as much torque as a 450, but no in the fact that it's lighter, it's easier to corner, you can last longer. So if you guys are a little out of shape, I'm 47, Mike here to me is 36, and you work, you're a blue collar guy, 9 to 5, you got a family, and you don't have time to get in riding shape, the 350 is a perfect size bike for you guys to have fun, have enough torque to get you over the jumps like we have here at Fox Raceway. So it's just a good blend of a 250 and a 450, but enough torque to make you go, yes, I can pull that gear out of a corner. Yes, I can get over that jump out of a corner. And I don't have to second guess myself. So this is the beauty of the 350. Mike has been riding a 250cc Honda.
Yes.
You like how I say that whole thing, 250cc.
cc's.
2023 Honda CRF 250R. So give the people out there.
My take.
Yes, but like you work your butt off.
Yes.
You don't get to train and ride. You don't ride like me every
not like
day.
I should.
Right.
So I came off a 250F Honda, 250cc.
Yeah.
And first thing I noticed when I jumped on this, it's been a long time since I rode a 350.
So you rode the old version where the motor probably wasn't that good.
Yes,
Right.
like the 4CS fork version.
Oh, okay, yeah,
A while
that's
ago.
really old.
And what I notice is I don't shift near as much. I can hold the gear a lot longer than the 250. It's a little heavier than the 250F, but something about the more front end than anything, it's more springy feeling, I guess you would say, but a lot more compliant to me than the 250F Honda that I was riding.
So a little bit more chassis compliance versus the Honda chassis.
Correct, like going to braking bumps or even acceleration bumps, it doesn't beat you up as much, not as much feedback in the bars for me.
Yeah. So back in the day, this 350cc engine didn't really make sense. It didn't have a lot of torque, but yet it didn't rev, and I was like, I don't really like it. And then it's evolved the past 5 to 7 years. And then since the 2022 version, this new engine has a lot more low-end RPM response and pulls a lot longer. So 175 pounds right now, he's 180 pounds. I have no problem using second gear. Yes, you do got to use second gear. You can't be a third gear lugger unless you change your gearing, but this thing accepts second gear. You can downshift, and it, just like what Mike said, it pulls it very far, so you don't have to shift right away.
No, you can keep it in a gear. I found myself going from corner to corner to corner in the same gear, and maybe third and flip the clutch a little bit. I really like it.
But that's the thing too, like if you're in third gear and you make a mistake, like you'll see in some of these videos I did today, because I'm so used to being in third gear, a little fan of that clutch, and it's right back up in the meat of the power. There's a lot of recovery within this engine. So for me, it's just a nice blend of lightweight feel, not a lot of inertia like a 450, so you don't have a lot of that pitching movement, right? And then it has a lot of snap, so very fun to ride. You get that, you know, that seat of your pants excitement feel.
I even got so much less pitching than the 250F, where maybe because I was ringing a gear out on the 250F under decel, it felt like it was a lot of engine brake, where this felt a lot more free feeling and like coast friendly, I guess what you'd say.
Yeah, so for me as well, just so you guys, if you do get a KTM, it does take longer to break in, about 6 to 8 hours, and there will be less engine braking within this engine. For me, there is a lot because I'm so used to this engine and know what it does. So after the 6 hour mark, it does have a lot less. So I do like that. Another thing that you guys might want to note, it does have an air fork. You guys know that I'm not a huge fan of it. I was out here today on a weekend, tons of people out on the track. You can probably see in the video. So there's a lot of small chop everywhere. It actually was fairly compliant for me. Initially, this fork has gotten better over the years as well, just like this bike has. So the fork has been matched with the chassis as well as the engine. It's all going up in the more comfortable range, but I still would like a little bit more air pressure. I ran 10.8 bar versus 10.6, and then I backed out the compression a couple clicks and then left it there. 105 millimeters of sag. I would like a little bit more acceleration compliance. There are some linkages out there that do help that. You can hit me up at Kris@KeeferIncTesting.com and I can kind of guide you in that direction. But overall, just for me hopping on a bike and having fun, I'm changing my ways a little bit, Mike. I'm looking for more fun, right? And maybe, right. Because you know how I am. I'm very competitive.
Yes.
So I need all the power I can get, but I'm changing my ways. I'm getting older. This is actually a fun bike for me to ride, and it has enough power for me to get around the track. So the question is, would you buy one for yourself? $10,000.
If you asked me this morning before I rode it,
yes,
I'd go no. I'm a 250 guy. But then after riding it, I'm sold. Like I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a good mix. Like where a 450, you're a bunch of torque off the bottom and then tapers off. This, I was so surprised that you could come out of a corner in a gear high and then roll onto it and keep it on like a 250F too. Yeah. Like that's what I liked about it.
And you're an off-road guy.
I am an off-road guy.
I feel like this engine would be really fun for an off-road ride.
It'd be a really fun off-road bike because you could, I mean, you could do moto, you could do off-road, you could do whatever you want. It's really good.
A couple things I would change right away. I would take the lock-on grips off. Not a huge fan of lock-on grips. I'd go to glue-on. I'd go to a pro taper style handlebar to get more flex. And then I do have some torque settings that kind of calm this chassis down a little bit over on my website. So there are some mods to this bike. Split triple clamps will give you more front end traction. Dropping WP 6500 inserts. Some of you guys are out there saying, yeah, Keefer, it's $10,000. Why do I want to spend more money? That's just if you want to. That option is there for you. The stock muffler is really good. A lot of these companies, these manufacturers have these stock mufflers that are really hard to beat for aftermarket companies to make more power. So this stock KTM muffler sounds good. You can hear it. Hopefully we have some raw edit here. And then it has a lot of response. So for me, overall, very fun bike. I'm not a fan of the purple.
Nah, it's a little off to me.
Spencer and I were talking about it this morning. I don't know why they put purple in this bike.
I don't either.
KTM, you're orange. Black and orange. There's no problem with it. Leave it. It's fine. We don't need purple. Especially older guys. We're not going to want purple.
No, I don't want purple.
You don't see older guys wearing fuchsia gear.
No.
Ain't going to happen.
You might.
I'm out. No purple.
One question.
Yes.
Did you feel like the throttle was really, really free-feeling and like no resistance in the throttle pull?
I do, but I like that.
You like? See, I don't like it as much.
You want a little bit more
I
friction.
want a little more friction there.
Yeah. For me,
Maybe different
I
spring,
use
I
a
don't
company called ZRT, and they have an aluminum throttle, and it is buttery, and it's actually smoother than this.
Really?
Yeah, but to bring up to your point,
I got arm pump, and I whiskey.
Okay.
So I don't want
You want a little bit more
I don't want it
friction.
to pull quite so easy.
So if you like a little bit more friction, then you want to stay with this lock-on plastic grip just because it gives you some more of that.
Right.
Going to another tube, or actually aluminum throttle tube, will get you less of that, so maybe you don't want that. KTM's throttle cables, they don't last very long. You get about 20 to 25 hours on these cables, and then it really starts to get harder. So something you guys want to look into. But we talked about this before we started rolling. There is a little bit of a hesitation down low.
Yeah.
Some of you guys getting on 350s, you guys are emailing me and saying, hey, Keefer, it's a little dirty, it coughs a little bit down low. It will get better once it breaks in, but it does run a little bit rich down low and then lean on top. You will get some decel popping on top.
Does the mapping change that? I did not try the other maps.
We're at the hands of KTM. We can't open this box. There are some companies that maybe can, but it's not an unlocked box like it used to be back in the day. So again, more money. Going to a Vortex ECU will clean all of that up, give you some more torque so you can run third gear, and then it pulls longer. I've ridden a KTM 350 with a muffler, a Vortex ECU, and a little bit of fuel. We ran ETS MX-18. And I can't explain to you how much fun it is to ride.
It's fun.
Lots of torque, lots of excitement, easy to ride, and it just makes me smile. I'm out here riding on a Sunday. I normally don't ride on Sundays, and I had a great time.
Yeah, me too.
Stay tuned for more videos, racerxonline.com. We're going to continue to evolve this bike.
You building it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to do a little bit of engine work. We're going to do a muffler. We're going to do an ECU, a little bit of fuel, some bars, some suspension. We're going to come back to you with the garage build on this. And then we're going to see how the smile on my face.
You know how much bigger it gets?
I don't want to smile because my teeth aren't great. But we're going to smile anyway when this thing gets built. You guys can talk trash in the YouTube comments if you want.
They will.
But man, it is going to be a hell of a day for me when I get that thing built. And I'm going to ride the crap out of it. My wife is in the background of this video shaking her head no, but yes. It's happening, and it's going to be fun. So we're going to see you on the next go-around, racerxonline.com. Don't forget, 12 issues, $30. We do have a print side to this whole thing. Lots of things that you can't see online, so that is nice. Are you a subscriber?
Yes, I am.
That's good. You can still come on these videos then. Hopefully you guys subscribe. We give free stuff out when you subscribe, so very cool. Again, as always, my door is cracked open. It's cracked. Kris at KeeferInkTesting.com. Just kick that thing open. I'll say hi and answer your questions, and happy to help you guys out there. We'll see you on the next go-around.